Hello everyone, my name is Ethan and welcome to Casual Eats, a channel dedicated to quick weeknight meals and building confidence in the kitchen together. Today we'll be making a quick beef stroganoff. Before we get started, I do want to say this is not an accurate stroganoff, but rather one that can be made in 20 minutes and still taste great. The full recipe is in the description below. Now on to the ingredients. For this recipe you will need the following: flour, mustard and Worcestershire sauce, and I didn't actually have enough Dijon mustard for this, so I substituted in a little yellow mustard and it worked fine. Beef bouillon, thyme, mushrooms, egg noodles, white onion, heavy cream, garlic, butter, beef stock, ground beef, and sour cream, which I of course left in the fridge. And I'll also say it adds a little bit of time, but I do always like to prep everything before I cook. It just makes my life a little bit easier while I'm cooking and allows me to relax a little bit more. While you're prepping your ingredients, start a pot of water for the noodles and add a generous amount of salt. Also, start a large skillet over medium heat. Once your pan gets up to temp, be sure to stubbornly add the rest of the olive oil you have in this bottle rather than just opening a new one like an adult. Then add the onions and cook until they start to get a bit of color. Now that your onions have some good color, go ahead and clear space in your pan and add garlic directly to the oil. Let it sit and cook for about 30 seconds before you mix it in with the rest of the onions. I'll also say I like to crush the garlic into like a cup or a bowl or something rather than into the pan. That way if you're crushing more than one clove, it'll all cook a little more evenly. At this point, your water should also be boiling, so go ahead and add your pasta and cook according to the directions on the packaging. Now that your onion and garlic is cooked and mixed together, go ahead and add a little bit more oil to the pan and then put your beef patty into the pan and cook on one side undisturbed for 3 to 4 minutes. That way you get some nice color and nice flavor on the meat. After a few minutes, go ahead and flip your beef and sear on the other side to get some nice color. When your pasta is seconds away from being finished, go ahead and reserve about a half a cup of pasta water and then drain your pasta. Now that the meat has some good color on both sides, go ahead and just break it up and then cook until there is no pink left in the meat. Once the meat is cooked, season with salt and freshly ground black pepper. Now that your meat is cooked and seasoned, we'll go ahead and add the mushrooms and the butter to the mix. I will say it's probably better to pull the beef and the onions from the pan and add oil, butter, and mushrooms on their own to let them kind of cook and sweat out a little bit more, but I was a little bit lazy and kind of paid for it here. Once your butter is melted, go ahead and cook this mushroom mix for about 3 to 4 minutes until they start to sweat out and get that color that I had mentioned. Once the mushrooms have cooked down a little bit, go ahead and add your thyme to the pan and cook just for about 30 seconds, kind of like the garlic, until it gets fragrant. Now go ahead and add the flour to the pan and cook it for about a minute just to eliminate that raw flour smell. Also be sure to mix it in to incorporate and get any of the extra fat and butter and everything nice and soaked up. With all of that mixed up and the raw flour smell gone, we can go ahead and add our beef broth, then our heavy cream, as well as our Worcestershire sauce, our mustard, and our beef bouillon as well. Now all you have to do is go ahead and stir this to combine and then let it cook, stirring occasionally for a couple of minutes just to let the sauce reduce and thicken up a little bit. Now that your sauce is thickened a little bit, go ahead and add your pasta to the pan, as well as that half a cup of pasta water that we reserved earlier, and stir to combine, and then let this simmer for a couple of minutes just so that the sauce sticks to the pasta and everything gets nicely incorporated and thickens up a little bit more. Now that you have a good coating of the sauce on the pasta, go ahead and pull the pan from the heat, and then add your sour cream. Be sure to stir this until there are no lumps of sour cream left in the sauce and everything is well combined. Finally, all we have to do is season to taste with salt and pepper, which should definitely be done in the pan, but I forgot to do that, so I'll do it after plating here. And then once you're done with that, go ahead and plate up and you're done. Now I've got to say, this might not be the most beautiful meal ever made, but man is it quick, easy, and super delicious. This meal makes enough for a family of 4 or 2 people with leftovers for lunch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really urge you to make this meal and let me know what you think in the comments below. But my name is Ethan with Casual Eats, and until next time, keep on cooking.